Hi Capricorn, welcome to your 19th to the 26th of February 2024. So this is going to be general guidance messages for the week ahead. If you want to join the membership, you can. You'll get access to all the signs. Or you can just buy the individuals. If you want to book a reading, you can visit the tarot shop and book your reading there, okay? This is general guidance. I feel like there could be a reconciliation this week. That's what I'm getting. With the Six of Pentacles, just be careful because the person coming back could be looking for a handout. So you did have the Temperance. See the way the man is wearing green. So this is you. Now, the other side of the coin is when we're in a position of prominence, our job is to help people, right? It's not to be greedy. It's, I'm not saying be a mug. Obviously, you earned what you earned. But there's a lot of people out here who are prosperous and they're just mercenaries. They wouldn't give you a penny, Now, again, the karma that they've got coming for them and the cycles, because we go through good cycles, we go through bad cycles. And when we're going through a good cycle, it's important to be generous because God has given us, obviously through our gifts, but remember our gifts come from God. He's given us that resource for ourselves, which is fine, but also to help who we can help, who genuinely needs it. So I do think there's a message for you this week to be generous with those people who genuinely need it. Freeloaders, people who are just taking the piss, people who, you don't, 1 minute you see them, next minute you don't. They're people to stay away from because they're just leeching. But there's something about, think of yourself like an Armand Gauzy. Armand Gauzy has got way more than a person needs. You just don't need what he's got, okay? So his job as a Capricorn now is to look for causes in the world where he can help, okay? Not everyone who's asking for money is a beggar. Some people generally are displaced. They've went through a set of circumstances. Not everybody's a meth who's asking for help. Some people just genuinely need it, and you can be surprised who you help, okay? Ace of Cups. We did have Temperance with the Ace of Cups, so I think there's either a new love that's being born. There could be a connection where you just feel a deep chemistry with this person. There could be a new love that's being born this week for those who are, the Empress. Okay. It could be as well, if you're successful, you're kind of looking for somebody who's also financially successful. Maybe as the Capricorn man, you're doing this because you don't want to be exploited or you don't want to be used. Maybe you've met a woman who's very successful and she's looking for a man who's got his shit together. There's something about one person not having much and the other person having a lot. Okay? This can cause problems because sometimes, again, some people like people to be a little bit of a match so that they know that it's an authentic connection. Okay, the Star card reversed. I feel like someone is very troubled by humanity. So this can be wanting to nurture a project. This could be seeing the homeless and it really affects you. This can be seeing Israel and it really affects you. And it's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's humans who are suffering. And our job as humans is to help. And that's it. There's too much who do people think that they are? People act like the shit don't stink and like they've never fell down, they've never made a mistake. It's crazy out here. The level of judgment. So if you've kind of moved into that energy, try and move out of it and look for people and causes to help because it will make you feel good. It's good karma, not that you should be doing things for later. But, this is something I've noticed. I've been through a really hard cycle, but I've had a lot of people who've stepped in. And it's because they know that I'm someone who's genuine, hard work, and that a lot of what's happened to me is injustice. And they've stepped in because they generally know who I am. Okay? So, yeah, there's something about, but also you've got to give people the tools to fix the life. Now, if you're constantly aiding them in money, you're going to become a supply, right? You have to give enough and then step back and let that person fix their life, okay? The Strength card reversed. For the Capricorn woman, this could be you. So you could have money, success, abundance. This is giving a man too much of your body, giving a man too much of your resources. That's what you've got to be careful of. Because I do get people who are exploiting you, people who are using you this week. Yeah, the High Priestess reversed. Some of you are not listening to your instinct. Temperance is energy. It's important to listen to your energy this week when it comes to people, because it will tell you what you need to know. What is the energy of Capricorns this week, please? What is the energy of Capricorns? Yeah, we've got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. The other side of the coin is it might be you who's not got a job, or it might be you who's struggling financially. Maybe you feel like a bit of a beggar, but, you know, like I said, some of the best people were cut down and they were jobless, and some of them homeless, and now they're multimillionaires, billionaires. So, yeah, don't judge yourself off your current circumstances. A lot has happened in the world since the pandemic. I feel like some of you feel like you're being laughed at, you're being mocked, but by who? By who? By a bunch of people who in a decade are going to be ruined by everything that's coming. I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not wishing bad on people, but I do think there's a lot of people out here with big mouths, with the sheer audacity that they just deserve a taste of their own medicine. End of story. You know, it's like the way Israel has become entertainment for the world. Go do something. It's crazy, right? But I'm getting with you, don't be too prideful to ask for help, because some people will judge you, some people will look down on you, some people will, a lot of people will, right? Because they like that feeling of you being less. A lot of men and women have achieved the bare minimum. And if they can make you feel less because you need their help, it gives them a sense of power. Truly powerful people would not look down on you. They would tell you straight, though. They would say, listen, I'll help you this time, but don't take the piss, you know, or I can get you this, or I can get you that. So for the Capricorn man or woman, there's something about being financially unstable, needing help. Could be from the government, it could be from benefactors, it could be from investors. Don't be too prideful to get the help, okay? Some of you are dealing with a masculine who's not going to commit. Knight of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles reversed. I think it's a Leo. You're making yourself unstable. I'm also getting someone getting conned here. This is the problem with giving. So some of you, there's a man. You could have met this man online. This could be a family member. I think it's a love connection, but it could be some kind of con. So it could be a man who connects with women online, he's from another country, and he's trying to fleece women out of money, right? And what they do is they build an emotional connection, and then they take money from you and then disappear. So this week is a week to give, but also be intelligent with who you're giving to. Be aware with scams, fraud, all of that. Get rich quick schemes is another one. So I think for some of you Capricorn women, you want to live in abundance, but you might be looking to people on the internet, and a lot of these people are making money through you. If you was a multi-millionaire, the way these people say on Instagram, you would not be sitting there every day in your life talking shit on the internet, because you are rich and there's better things to do. Now, some of them, don't get me wrong, they're hustling, they want to help other people. All I'm saying is, I feel like some of you need to really do your research into people. What are they selling you and why? You know, sometimes people are selling you something and yes, they're benefiting, but what they're selling you could make you into a millionaire. So it's just vetting people out and making sure that it is what it says it is, okay? Again, anything to do with long distance relationships. I'm also getting for the Capricorn woman, you're creating your own instability because you keep feeding and feeding and feeding this masculine. He's not arsed. A lot of these men aren't. The more you give them, the less they give you. End of. The more you give, that's not natural. If you spoke to a real man, and you would have to really press yourself to do it. But if you did, they would just be like, what the fuck are you women putting up with? What is happening? You know, like, so I'm being honest, like, it's like women are becoming the dominator and they're giving far too much. And it's almost like everything's flipped on its ass. What men should be doing, women are doing, and what women should be doing, men are doing. And it's just getting weird, okay? Being blocked. So some of you are financially blocked. I'm also getting, I don't want to say this, touch wood, this doesn't transpire, but I got a card being blocked. I got cards being rejected. A bank account being closed or something like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, now is really not the time. There's a lot of people out here and they're loving the downfall of a lot of people. They are enjoying themselves. But it really is a world now where we could be sitting here this week and it's just life is normal. And in a week, Britain's at war. That's it. Out of nowhere, we are Israel. Now, a lot of British, because we haven't been to a war, like these generations haven't been to a war, they're like, oh, this bitch is like, she's all in her head, she's just paranoid, you know. But it could happen, you know. So the smart people are just shutting their mouth, putting their head down, the planning, the prepping, the minding their own business instead of other people's. They're putting their head into the right things. They're not wishing the bad of anybody, because that's bad. If you're sitting there wishing for the downfall of people, like I said, I do hope, because I think growth only comes. There is people who actively want to see people destroyed, and they're just not thinking what that actually means for a human being, for their, for what? Because you don't like them. It's crazy, right? So yeah, I do think sometimes people need a taste of their own medicine. Like they need to know what it's like to lose a job they've given everything to lose a marriage, to not be able to eat, to have that fear of putting a roof over your kids' heads. There's a lot of desensitized people out here, and it's either ignorance or it's sheer arrogance. And if it's ignorance, then that's better, because most of it is just you kind of can't know what you've not experienced. But the arrogance of some people, where they're quite happy for people like think Israel and Hamas, and them saying if the kids die, they die, don't care. So what I'm saying is, this week for yous, it's really about Capricorn are very intelligent people, but sometimes your intelligence can work against you. It's really about helping people who generally need the help, vetting them out, especially if it is in foreign countries. Do research into people you're talking to on the internet, speak to them face to face, don't give them any money, because a person who's genuine is not going to ask for money, okay? There is these streamers where men will reach out, they're in a bad spot, they'll say to Aidan Ross, do us a favour, sub us 500, 1,000, and they'll do it, because £1,000 to Aidan Ross is nothing. Okay, and maybe he has just been scammed, but Aidan Ross is like, firstly, I'm not losing nothing, it's a penny to me, and secondly, I could be genuinely helping people. So it's really just being smart with who you're helping, and again, not being too prideful. There's been a lot of injustice, and there's blood in the streets, and so you will watch some people out here and they're living it up, and it's because they grabbed the houses that people were losing. They invested in they did the savagery, right? But the thing with when you act badly, it just flips. It's how it works. And some people justify and they say, I'm going to get mine, I'm going to protect my family, and whatever, it's their journey. But I would watch how you're acting in your money, how you're treating other people now. There's something in this for you really strongly. I would watch who you're giving money to, who you're helping. Especially with a Capricorn woman, if you're dealing with an air sign or you're dealing with a Sagittarius. Okay, so there's a Sagittarius who's a very, very bad man. This is someone who's nasty, he's corrupt, he'll fuck anybody. Yeah, I feel like just, some of you, this could be just a masculine who's not asking for money, he's just using you for sex. But that's what I'm saying, why women are destroying themselves, literally ended up with nothing, dysfunctional, not able to function because they met some guy who distracted them. I've been one of them. They're off living their life. They don't care. Like, really. So women need to protect themselves more than ever, because there's a lot of con men out here. Some of them come financially. A lot of them come emotionally and sexually. And so women now need to wake up and say, yeah, like, I've got to be smarter. I can't be allowing my emotions to dictate my actions, okay? Death card reversed. So you've got Judgment. So the message here from your archangels this week is the angels are saying it's important. Again, there's something about judgment, being too judgmental of people. Okay, so sometimes we're just a piece of shit who's judging everybody, looking down on everybody, thinking we're better than everybody, when we're actually just made of the same. Maybe our circumstances are different. Okay. Maybe we just got more fortunate. Maybe we had better regulated parents. Maybe we suffered less trauma. Sometimes you don't know why people ended up where they ended up. The other side of the coin is there is smart judgment, though. Smart judgment is where you go, does this seem too good to be true? Is this person giving signals? Does this person seem to just show up when it suits them, but then they bounce? Smart judgment is fine, okay? And then you've got the Seven of Wands. The other side of the coin is there could be people who are setting strong boundaries with you, because with you coming up as the Ace of Pentacles reversed, you could be constantly asking for handouts, constantly asking for a place to stay, constantly asking for support. But I feel like the Seven of Wands is someone who's protecting valuables. If I was an Amarganti right now, I would have more fear than if I was a random guy on the street. Because if you're a Amarganti, everyone's coming for you. Firstly, you're public known, you've got a lot of money, there's a lot of men with nothing, okay? So I'm not saying he should fear, but I'm saying, like, trust me now, the people with everything have got it far worse now than the people with nothing. Because when you got nothing, you got nothing to lose. But if you've got a lot of money, if you've got big houses, there's a lot of men out here who've lost a lot, right? And this is how it's going to go into the future. So some of the people watching this, you've got the money and you've got the power. So you've got to be quiet. You've got to be careful. You've got to not be complacent. You've got to diversify, right? There's something about arrogance and cockiness, which people tend to be once they get to a certain echelon in society, once they establish a certain level of success, and it'll just catch it out. Ten of Cups reversed is, I think for the Capricorn woman, someone refuses to end something, but this to me looks like a one-sided deal. So this is a business transaction where the other person benefits more than you. This is an emotional transaction where one person's getting all of the good and the other person's not. And then we've got Faith reversed, which I don't like to see, because in all of this playlist we've got Faith reversed. And I think man's losing hope, he's losing faith, we're really in, you know, this is not good, right? Because we're in a pre-world war, right? We're in a world that's going into a potentially a next war. And yet I think it's more important now than ever to be generous, to be decent, to not be overly judgmental. I know it's hard. I know people, me too. I mean, I'm just like, give me the place where there's no humans, you know? But at the end of the day, we are all we've got. And humans can be dickheads, but we're worth the fight. We've got a lot of good about us too. We can be very generous, we can be very kind, we can be very nice. And I think it's important to lean on that, you know, and we don't have to be martyrs, we don't have to be fake, but we just have to be sincere as much as we can. And when we see genuine people, we help them, you know. I think for you, there's something here about being a mother figure of some kind, being someone who cultivates some kind of, I mean, this could be the environment. A lot of people believe that's bullshit. Find your thing, you know. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with cleaning up the environment. You know, maybe the elites are overdoing it and it's not as big of a risk. But there's nothing wrong with having beautiful greenery. You know, there's people out there now who are protecting our land so we can still walk in the future as generations. There's people out there cleaning our seas. I seen a woman walking up the street the other day with a little picker and a bag. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not a mug. You're not an idiot. You're a person who cares. I think this is a big problem. It's kind of like people like, oh, fuck it, why bother? Yeah, why bother? Why bother saying hello? Why bother why bother? But then we're moving into that. The very fabric is eroding us, right? So I think I'm saying this to Capricorn this week, because this sounds more like a motivational speech I would give the collective. I think I'm saying this to you because Capricorn is the Rishi Sunaks. Like, you are the people who are very intelligent. You're not most liked. You take a lot of flack. You don't always fit in, but you are a very crucial part in keeping the world systems together, the financial systems together, doing a lot of things in the 3D that most people just don't want to attend to. See, everyone loves the idea of change. No one wants to do the work to get there, though. You know, everyone goes on about the banking system, but you don't see them out here building new systems. Everyone loves the mouthpiece, but they want to do none of the work. The thing with Capricorn, to be fair, is yous will be like that, but yous will also follow with your feet. So there's something about setting up some kind of food resources, food bank, stuff for children, stuff for women, mothers, whatever, right? Just something you're deeply, deeply passionate about. And it's important because I think so many people get wrapped up in just living day to day, but what you've got to remember is you are a legacy, and that legacy can end at any time. Everyone's out here walking the earth thinking they'll be here tomorrow, they'll be here next week. Like I said, Britain will still be Britain in a week. Who said? You know? So the point I'm making is I think it's more important for us to be more conscious than ever of the bigger picture, of how we're contributing to the bigger picture, of who we represent. In your individual lives, I think there's either you're taking too much and people are getting sick of this, or you're giving too much and you need to take a bit more. This is where martyrdom comes in, and it happened to me. If we give and give and give too much, eventually we resent people. But then we're resenting people, and then people are like, well, wait there a minute, you won't let me give to you. So when you're a giver, you've got to learn to take. When you're a taker, you've got to learn to give. Okay? So there's something about that this week. Be careful with the people around you, like I said, because especially those people who've got abundance and they've got the life together. There's a lot of people now who don't, and they're looking for those people, the cash cow, the place to stay, the people to exploit. And like I said, they're the people who are in more danger than the people who've really got nothing, even though they too have got their battle. If you don't release the arrow, your aim is all for nothing. Aim straight and shoot the arrow. I'm getting wanting to buy a town, wanting to buy an island. There's something big here. This is big. This is not opening a local business or starting a this is big. This is empire. This is a global chain. It's something that goes big, right? But they're saying you've got to shoot your shot. Some of you want to go abroad, so I'm seeing change in location, going abroad. Don't compare yourself to others. Smile and be content with your natural beauty. Some of you might have been rejected by someone, but I said this to another sign. These men have absolutely no interest. It's not about your beauty. It's not about your body. These are men of appetite. These are men of hedonistic pleasure. They just like everything. They basically, they look like men, but they're really just animals walking the earth, and anything is food to them. And they want to try a bit of everything, and, like, that's it. So when you're dealing with these kind of people, creatures, I would call them, it's easy to start feeling like you're not good enough, but it's really not to do with that. You're just dealing with someone who doesn't come from the heart, okay? Let's see. Stand in a garden and be thought-free just for a moment, but it came up reversed. The message for you is stop standing around, stop contemplating. Some of you, I'm definitely telling you, you're being deceived in a connection, and you're being told basically to be aware of that. Okay? Meditate to dispel all fear and become a beautifully enchanting magnetic person. The matrix is a frequency, and the frequency of the matrix is fear. It's control. It's greed. It's disgusting. And so whenever we keep tuning into this frequency, we keep getting people of greed and power and primal. That's why they keep telling us, the legacy deck, to go to the fields, to go to the ocean, to go away from, to not look to your fellow man, because most of your fellow man have lost the way. They're in the fear. They're creating the very system that they detest. It's not about judging them now. It's about conditioning would do that, right? But it's about following the God consciousness, removing yourself from the matrix frequency and the matrix propaganda, so you can realign yourself. And every person that does that, then will create a better world. Okay, storm warning. So yeah, you're definitely being warned about something or someone here. This can be, like I said, arrogance. The magician in the mirror is, this can be being careful, like what you're telling people, what you're revealing. Because the magician is somebody who performs. They could be famous, they could be a singer, they could be in the public eye. But there's a shadow in the mirror. This is also, I feel like someone's being studied, someone's being observed, somebody's being watched, because you've got the thinking man. So this is where you do something. It's like the Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross is he's a duck out of water. Like, seriously. And yeah, it's kind of like an Aiden Ross who people would be watching and going, okay, he's got a lot of money. Like, how could we hit him? How could we, So yeah, just being aware of what you're sharing, especially if you are someone who's got a lot of success, a lot of money. Um, okay. And then for the Capricorn woman, you got all tied up, angel of love. Okay. I feel like someone could be asking you to be patient, but I mean, the other side of the coin is like some things are worth being patient with if the person is rowing the boat with you. But what's important to note now is you've got to get round tables where people have the same vision. You've got to sit with partners who are putting in as much effort. Try not to be in one-sided situations. If you're taking too much, give more. If you're giving too much, take more. Try to correct the balance. That's the message for you. But I love this reading for you. It's all about you've got to move back into the God consciousness. Otherwise, all we're creating here is it's like the buildings, right? Look at the buildings. There's a building over the road from me now. If a man came with a crane, that building would go down so fast. It's not even funny. It would fall on its ass in 5 seconds. And that's what man is building. He's building buildings that have no class, no nothing, you know. Everything that used to be of that standard, the decades, the generations was years of patience and dedication and community and all of those things. So you know, that's what a lot of men are doing. They think they're building a big legacy because maybe they've got £1 million or £2 million. It's like people are going to laugh at your ass in the next 100 years. What do you mean, £2 million? It's like the way we used to look at 500,000, right? So think legacy, think bigger, find your community, find your cause, balance yourself out. Some of you do need to take a look in the mirror. This can also be someone who's got some shadow coming up within them that they need to look at. Because for me, the magician in the mirror is when you look in the mirror, do you see you? Or do you see a presentation? The magician is a charlatan. He presents a trick. He presents something. Are you a presenter? Is the character behind the scenes the same character that the world sees? You know you're winning when the man in the mirror and the man alone is the man the world sees or the woman that the world sees. Okay, if you want to book a reading, you can visit me shop, like I said, if you're struggling with anything. But this is just a general reading, and it's all about protecting yourself, protecting your interests, reconnecting with something bigger than yourself, getting out your own ass, seeing that the world is tilting at a very dangerous level. How can you be effectful? It doesn't matter if other people are like, oh, is that my problem? The seas aren't my problem. They're not my problem. Yeah, we know, Dave. Move. Okay? Don't be that motherfucker who's like, this isn't my problem, but I'm going to pick this shit up. This isn't my problem, but I'm going to do this. Get your kids to get out there and start earning it. You know, these kids want to have all of this freedom in the future, but they're all running around doing what? Go and make your family, yourself accountable. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. Let them talk while you walk. And in time, you will be the example. You know, people will come to you and say, how can I help? And how do you do that? And like, you know, people need examples now. And I do like Capricorn for that. Like, you really are the people who do keep the world together. And I do appreciate that. Like, just me personally, like, because I'm someone who's very emotional. I'm not good with the the practical shit. Like, I fucking hate it, but I'm trying to get better with that. But yous are very, very good with the practical stuff, with the business stuff, and people take it for granted every day how much that keeps us safe, how much it keeps our lives together, and you just need to be appreciated more. For those who are given too much, don't be afraid to pull back. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I've carried my weight, I've done my bit, and now I'm going to do me, and I'm going to look after my family. There's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy your week, and I'll speak to you soon.